Good morning, guys. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. So this week is kicking off with a dive into all of our wallets potentially, but you gotta be mindful about what you're gonna go for. So what we have starting today is a Festival Titan event as well as the Path of Clover. I'll be focusing on the Path of Clover today, but a quick mention of the Festival Titan event is I will be going for this. The 5-star soul for R-Man just seems so good. I mean, 5-star soul gives you extra 75 resistance, 75 accuracy, which he's a support type champion, so having more accuracy on him is something you're definitely gonna want to go for. Now, as far as the events you can skip for that, the first week is going to give you 1,050 points. That's this week. And the next week is going to give you up to 700 points. So you have a total of 1,750 points. You need 1,500 to go for R-Man's, the 5-star soul that is, assuming you want to go all the way to 5-star soul. So you can skip up to 250 points. Now, personally, I prefer to skip those later in the events when I, hopefully hit everything else beforehand. But it is something to keep in mind. Now, if you want to just pick up the 4-star soul, the 3-star soul, you can do that as well, but that's completely up to you. But today, I want to focus on the Path of Clover because the Path of Clover is pretty expensive, to be honest. Very expensive. I mean, who actually has shards saved up? To be honest, it's unlikely because we have had so many shard pull events recently that it's very difficult to have saved up a ton of shards. But if you do, congratulations. But if you're somebody who's going to have to buy some shards, then I want to give you guys a breakdown and some understanding on what you could purchase to actually get the best bang for your buck if you specifically want to go for Padrig, the St. Patrick's champion, I think is his name, as well as his 5-star soul. So for me, what I'm going to be doing is I have to go for the rest of the Kafrus for the R-Man's Fusion. I picked up a lot of the stuff, missed some events, but I still have 75 to go. Pick up these 50 and then go for the next 25 in an event currently that I have going on. But I will be able to finish it out, which is very good news. So if I'm going to go for those 50 fragments for the Kafrus, I have to check out what it's going to cost me to actually pick up those 50 fragments as well as whatever else I want to go for. And it's pretty expensive. But I will share with you guys what you could purchase if you do end up spending money to actually finish this event out a little bit more cost effective. So if you guys enjoy this video, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and all that kind of good stuff. Let's go ahead and talk about how much finishing out R-Man's is going to cost me. So 25,250 points to go down this right side. I will pick up one key, which is going to be helpful for getting down to the champion if I end up going for that. So 25,250 right off the bat. The next one is going to be this left side. So down here, left side, I didn't calculate the very first reward, I don't think. Let me see real quick. Okay, so there's nothing up there. Great. So I got everything done. So this is left side, 24,250. So total, it's going to be relatively expensive. After this, if I want to go for both those things, it's going to cost, I believe, 49,000 points. I have all the totals listed out a little bit later. But if I want to go for both of these, I do have enough to go for that. I'll break down what I actually plan to spend, so on and so forth. But I do have enough for that. What I don't have enough for just yet is the champion points. So just for the champion alone, 73,500 points, which is quite a bit more than the R-Man stuff. But if you already finished out the R-Man's Fusion, then you don't have to worry about that. You can just go for the 73,500. So that's for the purple path right there. Going down, picking up the Fusion champion, or the guaranteed champion, essentially. You already have one key from this right path over there if you decide to go that. But if you're not going for the Kafrus, then you could either go this side or this side. You really have to get the key either way. The least expensive is probably going to be the key right here. Though if you want to go for the soul, you're going to have to get both keys. So you kind of have to go for both the Fusion fragments anyways, which is kind of unfortunate, honestly. If you're somebody who's already finished the Fusion, I wonder if you still have the fragments available. Interesting. That kind of sucks, honestly. Either way, let's go to the next thing. So there's no other keys throughout this map. So the next thing is going to be for the soul. If you want to go for the soul, you can't really see that number there, but it's 61,000 points for the soul. So 61,000 points for the soul, 73,000 for the champion, and then 49,000 for the 2 fragment people as well. So what will the totals for this be? Well, if you want to go for everything, you're going to need 184,000 points, guys. That is a lot of points. That is a whole lot of points, especially when you realize that everything is coming from strictly shard pulls. There's no champion training where you could have stuff saved up. There's no energy where you could maybe, get some good gear along the way as well. You're going to be hopefully picking up some good champions, but 184,000 points from soulstones and shards, that is a lot of points, guys. That is a whole lot of points. So there you go. Now, as far as my points, what I have, I plan to go for Armand's for sure, finish him out. 57,000 points from soulstones is what I have. Now, if it's going to cost me 49,000 to finish that out, I'm just going to pull one less Eternal Soulstone. It's going to get me right to 49,500, I believe. So 57,000 minus, I think, 7,500. 49,500. So that's going to be exactly where I need to be. So I believe it's 3 Eternal Soul Stones and then 18 Immortal Soul Stones is what I'll be pulling. So I do plan to do that in the next few days, but I may possibly make some purchases depending on what kind of deals are out. The shard deals are horrible. Honestly, I don't recommend getting any of the current shard deals for this event, and I'll explain to you guys why. But there's a deal in the shop right now that if you want to get this champion is far better value for getting this champion than any of the shard deals. Now, it's less RNG. You have less of a chance to get something really good, but you know what you're spending is going to get you to this champion. So I will talk about that in just a moment. But my primal shards would be 18,000 points, giving me a total of, let's see, 57,000 plus 18,000, 75,000 points. So if we take 184,000 minus 75,000, I'm going to need 109,000 points still to actually go ahead and finish out this event. So 109,000 points. Well, if I wanted to finish this out with just say Eternal Soul Stones, it's going to be 14 Eternal Soul Stones. Honestly, this is a horrible way to even show the math because you're not going to do just Eternal Soul Stones. You're not going to do just Immortal, not just Ancients. I think Ancients to finish out all this is like 600. You're not doing that. If you had just Sacred Shards to finish out everything, it's going to be like a ridiculous amount, 40 Sacred Shards. You're not doing that either. You're going to use a mix and a match of all of it, but something to keep in mind, that's actually a better deal than purchasing shards. If you come in here, you've seen this offer already. So this offer pops up for everybody, and a lot of times people probably just overlook it. But I want to go through and show you guys what this is compared to what this is, also what this is compared to this is, and then even what it is compared to this. This looks like a really good deal, right? $15, you get a Sacred Shard, a Primal Shard, 2 Ancients, and 2 Voids. Well, when you compare this to this, as far as the Clover points specifically, this is a far better deal. Let's go ahead and check it out real quick. So the monthly pack, 17,700 points, assuming you take these gems and translate them, or convert them over to the 11 extra ancient shards, you're going to spend $1 for every 354 points you get. Okay, so now we come over here to the other lucky string pack. You spend $1 for every 295 points you get. I did the math on the other one earlier, and I believe it was $1 for every like 560 points, something like that. Yeah, it was right here. So $1 for 560 points. So it's a lot better than this, but it's still quite expensive. Matter of fact, just out of curiosity, what would it be? Actually, this is a better deal. So let's say you did 184,000 points divided by 354. So basically $520 is what you'd have to spend to go ahead and finish this event out if you purchased all packs at this value. But something to keep in mind is if you come over here to the Clover offer, for $1, you get 850 points. For $1 over here, you get 800 points. Now, for these events, for this purchase right here, you're only getting the Clover points. You're not getting any dopamine from the shards, nothing like that. But if you're specifically wanting the champion and you were able to purchase enough of these, let's see. If you had 184,000 points, actually, matter of fact, let's go ahead and do my numbers. 109,000 points divided by 850. So $128 if I was to just purchase these straight out. So that is expensive. It's definitely very expensive for a champion, but this is a champion plus his 5-star soul. Now, I can't just 100% purchase that out, but if I was wanting to do this, and I did want to purchase out, say, all these packs, that would be 17,000 Clover points times 4, because the purchase limit of 4, so 68,000 points from there. If I wanted to do this, which I'm not saying I'm going to, not saying I'm not going to, I really have no clue. It really depends on the value of this champion in my account. I'm going to have to really dive into it. Probably going to test them out more on the test server, assuming the test server still has access. But it's an expensive champion. If you don't have stuff saved up, it's an expensive champion. Now, I do have the ability to go for an extra Eternal Soulstone pool. I could go for my Mortal Soulstones. I could even open up some Ancient Shards as well. Maybe I get a Sacred Shard. Maybe some good deals pop up. I got a feeling I'm probably going to lean more towards Soulstone purchases than I would for Shard purchases. Just because Soulstones during these events, you don't always get good benefits from Soulstones in events anyways. So Soulstones just seem more valuable for my account right now. But honestly, I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I may translate or convert both of these over to Eternal Soulstones. Maybe I switch it over to the Eternal Soul Essence. Really not sure what I want to do. Honestly, I really want the Eternal Soul Essence, but also really want to finish out this event and pick up a 5-star soul for a champion who's very good. But as far as where he's going to be very good for, I'm not 100% sure where in my account he'll be game-changing. And I really need to know where a champion's going to be game-changing before I go in and start spending this much money on this champion. So if I was to purchase out this left side and the right side, it's going to be $80 plus $45, so what, $125 basically. Let's see if I did the math right there. $80 plus 45, 125. Boom, $125 for 12,000 times 3, 36, and then 36 plus 68, so 104,000 points. So if I was to purchase that, it'd be basically done deal in the fusion, or the whole event basically. Now I don't have enough to get the very bottom points in that, the very bottom things, but I just want to tell you guys this because I know there's players out there who do want to buy this. Now you can pick up the avatar as well. You have to just farm out your extra 9,000 points or whatever, or 6,000 points. 369. So 9,000 points to get that. Either side, whatever, you can go for that if you want to as well, of course, and it's going to be much more reasonable. But obviously, this event is very expensive, guys. Unless you've saved up shards, somehow, miraculously saved up your shards through all of these events, well, congratulations, you're in an amazing spot. I've gotten very fortunate and pulled my ancient shards and was able to save a lot of them during these extra legendary events because when I'd pull, I'd hit the legendaries very early. So I'm in a pretty decent spot, but I have no sacreds because of this recent fusion summon stuff. I have no voids. I was able to go to the top and actually finish out the champion chase tournament and get this top reward with just 10,000 points exactly, basically. But this was a really big deal for actually working on this current Path of Clover event. However, most players probably couldn't do that. So if you're good on shards, you're good on this event. If you're not good on shards, well, you may just want to call it quits. Honestly, the current shop offers, the main thing I wanted to point out is that if you think that a shard pack is good, none of them are really good compared to the Clover coins. So if you're specifically wanting to go for the champion and not worried so much about the champions you may get along the way, then just go for this. But if you're willing to risk the RNG and spending triple the price or quadruple or more the price to open up shards instead of do this, maybe it's worth it for you. It's completely up to you. I just want to give you guys the resources to understand what you're actually purchasing. Now we should get some good deals coming out soon. This ends in an hour. This ends in an hour. This ends in 2 hours. So in the next like 5 hours or so, we should start seeing some good deals, some good anniversary deals. And if they're like 100% extra or 80% extra, it may be worth considering. Personally, I'm more willing to pull a little bit extra ancients, a little bit extra primals, get a good deal on soulstones and pull those than I am coming in here and purchasing shards at this ridiculous price, honestly. And even these good deals, and even this deal, which would be considered a good deal for most player item standard, is really just not a good deal for this pack, honestly. I mean, even this value, which is Sacred Shards 4,500 plus 1,800, right, for the Primal Shard, plus 600 for the Ancient, plus 1,500 for the Void Shard, so 8,400 divided by that 15, which is 560 points per dollar. You take that and 184. Actually, do the remaining I'm missing, 109. Now, you're not going to get this deal ever, but let's see, $194. So basically $200 if you got deals just at this value right here. That's not happening, guys. You're not going to get value like this all the time. This is the very end of a string pack. Something to keep in mind. If you're trying to chase it with purchasing shards, something to keep in mind there. Hopefully, you guys have a decent amount of information to go ahead and make your best choices when pulling for this. Obviously, you want to make sure that if you're pulling shards, you're pulling during the correct events because we do have a few different progressive events going on. I think the first day is the most enticing for me. Feral is an awesome champion. I would love to have him. Kira, if you're going for Mikage Fusion, Blizzard, if you missed him like me, and Snick Trek, these are all good champions. Tyrant is a little past his prime, honestly. Ursuga is good. Krisk is very good, of course. These are voids. I'm not pulling any voids for this. And then the third day, Ugir, Lady Kimmy, and King Galkabar, and Sathalia. I think the third day is probably the worst day in general. The second day is very good for Krisk, or if you're going for Mikage, or if you missed Blizzard, Snake Track, you're looking for those. And the first day is very enticing for Feral, especially. I mean, he's a very good champion, very solid for Hydra, would definitely, most likely, possibly, probably make it into one of my Hydra teams. But either way, guys, I want to give you guys this information to hopefully help you better understand what you're going to be potentially going into if you pull these shards. Also keep in mind, the Festival Titan event is probably going to have some shard pull events in the next few days as well. So if you want to go for this, you're probably not going to want to skip that. Also, there could be energy deals you want to buy as well. So if you're spending money, be mindful. And the only reason why I'm talking about spending money so much in this video is because I really don't see any way most players can complete this without spending some money. Just the truth of it, honestly. Just Honestly, if you want to sit out on it, just decide now. You're just going to sit out no matter what deal is thrown to you. And if you do purchase it, save it for the festival event or something. But either way, I want to give you guys information. You take that information and do whatever you want with that information. Either way, thank you all very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Best of luck going for any of these champions. Hope your shard pulls have amazing luck. I've seen a few people get some good stuff throughout here. Today, I'll be pulling some shards in the next few days. I'm going to give it some time for some offers to pop up. And I can share with you guys what I decide to do and everything. But I'm going to give it some time. There's no reason to rush. I do plan to pull during this first day, though, for Feral. If I end up pulling anything ancient-wise. Primals, I probably will actually pull. I don't know. I'm gonna crunch the numbers a little bit closer, see what I really want to do. Because if I just go for the Armand's stuff, then I can just stop at the Eternal Soul Stones. I can save some Eternal Soul Stones, save some stuff there. But if I decide to go all the way, then I'm going to have to be very careful about what I actually pick. If I decide to purchase any of the Clover points or the actual Soul Stones, who knows? But I do got to be very careful about that. So guys, thank you all very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and best of luck. I'll catch you guys in the next one.